Malibu Knights has been together for almost, like, just over 3 years now. This is the first time I've been on tour with Devon Coyote. And of course, we still play some of those old songs from 3 years ago because people like them. But now, with Devon here, we've got something fresh and something new, and we can actually get him to play that song with us and just add a solo, and that just makes it better.
It's been evolving for quite some time now. Like, I've used Dan Harden, like the lead singer guitar player from Malibu Knights, as my drummer all over Canada the past year. If he's not busy with Malibu Knights, he'd fly out and play drums for me. Same thing with Rod, like Rod Anderson. I'd take him on the road with me if he wasn't busy with Malibu as my drummer. And Dino and Dan also, we played a few shows around the Okanagan as a three-piece before, like them strictly playing for me, not a Malibu Knights show. So it's been a slow evolution in a way, but it's been happening for 2 years now.
We got together about 3-4 months ago and saying, hey, why don't we just plan a whole across Canada tour? And so we got together and started planning it all out.
It was really neat being in the situation that we're in, being 4 guys, like the Malibu Knights being a three-piece and then me just being a solo identity, being able to take my music and use them as my rhythm section, and being 4 guys but really being 2 totally different bands with 2 totally separate feels. So when we're selling that to venues across the country, you're not just buying 1 show, you're buying 2 shows.
I went out all the way east to Kenora, Ontario, hit all the places in between. Every show was a new experience because everybody would have something new to bring to the table, so you had to be on your game for sure.
We usually have to fill about 3 hours of music a night, which both bands can do separately. So it's actually been, so we're not harder, but it's been different because we'll end the night and we're like, oh, we didn't play like half of our set. We didn't play 13 of our good songs. But it's been good. Docks is easier because it's 2 blocks from my house, so we play there quite a bit, so it's pretty familiar and it's pretty easy. But we'll just show up usually with the RV and the trailer, and we'll have all our gear, and we just open the back and then start unloading, start loading stuff in.
I think tonight's going to be a pretty good show.
We pretty much start and end every tour at Doc Willoughby's. It's kind of like we've been almost like a house band, but like they don't really have a house band. But for the last couple years, I'll say, we've been playing there a couple times a year, and so same with Devon. And it's always a good time, so we always start and stop there.
That's kind of like my watering hole when I'm back home too. Like my girlfriend and all our friends, we usually go to Doc's every night almost, and then it's like a second home. You go in and the bartenders are all great. They treat you like family there.
There's something about that place that just makes you want to go back to it. And it's definitely not the best stage, it's not this or that, but it's by far the best atmosphere and some of the best staff that we get to work with.
Pulling out all the guitars, then we'll get them up on stage, tune them all up, be ready for the show. There's always way too many. That's good though.
Devon and I both kind of collect guitars. Over the years, like, it doesn't matter what kind it is, it's about the sound. And if you find one that sounds cool, you try to write a song to play it. A couple of ones that I have are just guitars that my dad has picked up along the way, and they're just cheap, like knockoff guitars, but we've, replaced some of the parts and made them sound cool. And you're just like, I need to write a song to play this guitar, so that's what you do. I'm gonna build a rack this summer when I get home, and hopefully I can fit about 10 in it and just wheel it on stage and have it. And never hurts to have too many. You can't have too many.
I have guitar acquisition syndrome. Or actually, it's really musical instrument acquisition syndrome.
This is my Cedar Top Sound and Patrick 12. I have a sound hole humbucker. I also have an undersaddle LR bag, so it plugs in twice.
The first guitar I ever got that was mine was a graduation present, because when I grew up, my dad had guitars, so I just practiced on those. And ever since then, it's just, I don't know, they're such an amazing thing to have.
Number 2 is a Fender Strat with the lace sensor pickups. It's a very smooth guitar. Sounds really smooth.
I don't know if they all make different sounds, but I feel like they do. So when I find something that I like, I usually pick it up.
It's a Godin A6 Ultra. They're built in Quebec. So this is a Canadian-made. What it is basically an acoustic guitar. It's filled in, so it has an undersaddle acoustic pickup, but it also has a humbucker in it. So same idea. It's got two plugins, so it's a dual voicing guitar, and because I play so many shows as a two-piece, it really adds a whole different element.
I like the stuff that's kind of rare, and not that it's expensive because it's rare or anything. It's just I like the stuff that's hard to find. So my buddy in the pawn shop will call me and he'll, be like, Devon, you have to come see this guitar.
This one is a Gretsch Electromatic, just hollow body rockabilly style guitar.
I almost look at them like some people collect art, or some people get tattoos, or some people do this or that. Like I just collect guitars and musical instruments now.
This one is by far my favorite.
You're gonna use them all?
Yeah, I'll use them all tonight, no problem. This one is my lap steel with the, it's got an American Standard pickup in it, and you play it on your knees and you just wail on it.
Almost every single show, if someone sees us bringing in all the guitars and or bringing them out at the end of the day, they think we're like a 9-piece band. But they do play each one, so I'll give that to you guys. You win.
This is my mom and dad. The whole reason I'm here, one drunken night meet.
Is there anything new in the collection or not? No, I'm their friend. I'm their friend. Devon's friend too.
The past couple of years since I released my album, I've had a couple really good things happen, and it's definitely, they've seen how hard I work at it, and they are so supportive now. It's awesome. They come to my shows, they'll bring tables of people to my shows if I'm in the Okanagan, and they're just the coolest parents about it. So, it's like anything, that transition, it had to happen that, I wasn't quitting a career job to just be a dude that slept until noon and played guitar for 2 hours. Like once they saw that I traveled across the country, a few times and this and that with a guitar and playing my songs, they recognized, I think, the passion I have for it, and which they immediately started backing me with tons of support. So it's very cool.
Whenever we play in Edmonton, which is where I grew up outside Edmonton in Fort Saskatchewan, but whenever we play in the area, my parents always show up. My sister comes out whenever she can, and they stay till 2 or 3 in the morning whenever we're done, and then they drive themselves home.
It means a lot to me when my parents come, because my family's not really a musical family, and then all of a sudden I started doing this, and that came out of left field for them too. So the fact that they come and support us and support me, that just means a lot to me. So it's good. It's nice to see. It's also nice to see when they're actually having a good time and not just like sitting there plugging ears like a lot of parents do. They're actually dancing and drinking and having a good time. So it means we're doing something right, maybe.
Docks was awesome.
It's a good room. Our fans and friends like going there, right? It's like a familiar pub, as well as they get tons of foot traffic.
It was a different crowd because there's that big concert in town, and a lot of people came out after that, and they weren't, they don't normally, end up being a Docks.
We actually, when we were playing a show in Calgary, we saw the poster for that show last night in Calgary for the Kelowna show. So they brought a lot of people out for the long weekend, which in turn brought a lot of tourists and unfamiliar people to the venue, which was good in selling our merch and good in creating new fans, but also a little strange for the vibe in there. It was a lot different than it usually is.
People were dancing and rocking out, and by the end of the night, the whole floor was full.
Talking on this phone, and how to say that it's amazing
This morning, well, this afternoon really, when we made it back to the venue to load out, we had a load out call time for 1 p.m. So Dan actually slept in the RV in front of my house where we parked it last night because it's right near the venue. And at about 12:50 I looked outside and he was still there, and I was just getting ready. I was putting on my shoes, getting my jacket on, and I walked outside and the RV was gone. So I called him. I was like, hey, where are you? It's like, oh, I'm just pulling up to docks. Okay, well, I'm at the house where you just were not a minute ago. Do you want to come pick me up? Apparently forgot I lived there. Forgot. But that's not the real injustice. Yeah, the injustice. Devon woke up at 1:05 p.m. in his house, which is about half an hour, 25 minutes away from the venue, as everything was finished and packed in the trailer.
Can you put like a flashing injustice?
Yeah, I get it. You know what the injustice is?
What's that?
The basement doesn't have service, and I woke up and looked at my phone, and I'm like, oh my god, it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, blame it on your phone.
I did.
Technology made you late, right?
I think your alarm clock still works, you know, when there's no service on it. But no, I wasn't actually upset. It doesn't really matter if one guy isn't there. Like, there are times when you play at your hometown. If we were in a different town, we'd all be there 100%. But since we're all from Kelowna, we have places we could have been. And
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything about that other than one man down sometimes. And it's been everybody before, so it is what it is. It's no big deal. I think we've all been the dude that just doesn't wake up or gets up late or doesn't feel like it once in a while, which is all good.
We had a pretty late night last night, which is fairly regular at Docks, and the house I live in, I sleep in the basement, and I thought it was like 11 o'clock, and I looked at the clock and it was 1 because it's still pitch black in the basement, right? And yeah, so that was the morning. I was a little late, kind of missed load out, but that's the nice thing about traveling with 3 other guys is they did it for me.
I asked one of the guys that was there if I could ride his shoulders, and he was kind enough to say yes, and he put me up on his shoulders and we walked around the beer garden for the last song.
there we go. I think I found the sweet spot. One time I thought it, and then gas started pouring on the side. It's pretty classic. Boom.
Jackpot.
Yep. Let's get every last amount of that thing. And there you go. $260 to go to Kamloops.
Full moon on a Friday night. Took a train to the other side.
We've had the RV now for 2 years. We used to have my Trooper, my Isuzu Trooper, 93, and we had 5 guys in there, and we used to sleep in it, sitting upright. For a while, for a couple tours, we rented trailers, you know, from U-Haul. We did a little bit of everything. We did the drive around in a car and sleep on floors, couches, you know, that kind of thing. But then we got a security. It's like a van, camper van style deal. So we had that, and then we had 5 dudes in there, plus all our gear with no trailer, and then, so you're sleeping on guitars, and you're sleeping, you know, it was a good time, but then eventually that breaks down enough times, you're like, okay, let's just, let's upgrade if we can. So we went shopping for a while, shopped around for a couple months, and then found that beauty right there, and then went with it.
It's nice having that much space. We had to travel from Kenora, and our next show was Saskatoon, and we had 2 days to get there, and we chose not to book a day. We took a day off in between, so we had 1 night off, and then, but we ended up doing a lot of the drive in 1 day, and in the back bedroom, we ended up having a 3-person jam in there. Like, there's so much room and there's so many things in there that you can really do whatever you want.
Serious?
Yeah, go right.
You want me to go that way?
No.
That's just a parking spot. Camping.
If you want to fight about it, we can fight about it a bit. But we should go back.
I feel like Drew wants me to go to the campground.
We gotta load our gear, don't we?
Yeah, don't we have to take our gear?
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not carrying gear from the campground to the venue. Unless you want to try to pack the trailer like a bunch of mules. That'll be good.
Winter came, and I swear we can't get a word. I need some lights to break this curse. But now it's too late. Feel the nights away. Now I'm slipping far away. And yeah, it gets cold. Lying in this icy bed. Roll it up slow. You're melting me inside my head.
Drew, who we've met here, he's putting on this tournament. He's one of the organizers, and he's a promoter at the Dirty Jersey in Kamloops. So every time we come play there for him, we meet all his friends, and we usually party at his house till the wee hours. And all those people come out every time. They're just fantastic.
It's the ball tournament crowd, I guess. Wasn't really, they all play ball all day and just kind of sit and enjoy the music, I think. Like it wasn't, you know, the normal busy gong show that some places can be, but it was still fun. Got to play music all night, can't complain.
We enjoy what we do, so when we're up there, it's not work. Everything getting up to the show, after the show, like booking the show, setting up the show, all that stuff is work, but playing it is the fun part. That's what we do it for, right? So when we're up there, we just play, and it's great.
When you're on the road and you're a band of our size and like where we are in our career of being a band, you really never know what the show is going to be. You don't know how many people are going to be there, and you try your best to, you know, promote it in whatever way. And this is kind of a private function, though, I guess, as it's a ball tournament. But yeah, I mean, you never know what's going to happen, but you play the best show you can, and you just give her.
Hey guys!
How's it going?
Oh, good. That was a good way to answer the door with their filming.
Well, you guys woke us up, which was good. And then we went just to the concession stand, had some hamburgers. They're delicious.
Rod and I owe $10 to the merch. Yeah, it's out of my wallet.
Well, what'd you guys do?
We spent that $20 in merch on these right here.
I owe $5.50.
But you have the rest, though.
Oh yeah, right.
I don't want it.
Oh my God.
Devon, stop it! Get back here!
We just saw a whole other side of you here.
The side of me with no clothes on? How'd it look? Yeah, that happens once in a while. Just trying to get a tan. It was not that sunny out. So it didn't work that well. I don't know. Okay, the other boys told me to do it. I'm like, okay, fine. I don't know. I don't know where else to go with that one.
I don't know whose idea that was. It's just something that happened. Devon likes to streak. Yeah, I wasn't lying. That's probably the third or fourth time this tour.
Jasper, Grand Prairie, Kamloops now. Yeah, it's pretty random, but that was different.
crazy last night for sure.
Yeah. Dean does that.
There's a couple tunes where he has a break where Dino just takes off and runs, and he went and played baseball last night briefly for a second, but
went out into the beer gardens, then he just bolted out into the baseball field. And I think everybody had a good time with him.
In Moose Jaw, he went across the road. We were playing in the window, like we were playing with our backs to the window, which went across the main drag of Moose Jaw. And Dean went out the door and was standing on the other side of the main drag playing bass back to us, because he has that wireless system that's pretty funny.
That was fun. Wireless, yeah.
You got picked up too.
Oh, I did at the end, yeah. I got, then our last song there, I was walking around the beer gardens and I asked one of the guys that was there if I could ride his shoulders, and he was kind enough to say yes, and he put me up on his shoulders and we walked around the beer garden for the last song.